Government is really antiquated when it comes to technology and innovation. And so I have a sort of a different perspective, probably because I'm really not a politician. I sort of got into this out of the love for my community, but also a business owner that was frustrated by a lot of red tape that you see in government. And so that was one of the things that I really wanted to bring to the forefront is technology and innovation in my city. And now more than ever, as we look at future technology, it's changing fast, but it's incredibly dynamic and exciting. And I'll also say, a lot of this technology is so new that sometimes you're just trying things to see what works. And I always say when you stop trying is when you fail. We've got to get out of this sort of antiquated way of thinking. I think that's really what I see mainly in government that sort of hinders the process to move forward. And I would also say this politicians hate to be the first one to come out there. They hate to take risks.
Yeah.
They hate to be wrong. Right. And I think you have to have a bigger vision and be okay with, hey, this might not work today, but in the future, this is going to work. You and I both know this is where it's going. But for,
Why do you think there's like that pushback? I was going to actually ask you this in the future, but in like later on, but you keep coming back to it. Like, why is there such resistance to new ideas and innovation from politicians?
well, a couple of things. I think we don't have enough politicians that come from probably the private side, the entrepreneurial side, the technology side. And I get it. They're busy building companies and doing amazing innovative things. But that's where I do think that government really should open up the door and bring them to the table. I think government has a really hard time with pulling in experts. That's the one thing that's very challenging about government is that it doesn't like to fail. Politicians don't like to fail. They have a very hard time coming out and saying, I'm sorry, that didn't work. And I think
You
people
never
forget
hear
they're
that.
human,
You really
right?
rarely hear that. I mean,
Right,
name a local
right,
state or a federal politician that has said, "We tried something new. We gave it our best shot. We learned from it. We'll grow from it, but it didn't work." Nobody ever
right,
admits that.
right.
I
Well,
mean,
because we
yes,
also
there
have
are
this
so many.
culture in our country of failure, right? And I actually think that we teach that failure is a bad thing. I don't think that should be the case. I actually think we should fail often if we really want to continue to be innovative and get something right.
Yeah, I feel like I've done a lot of schooling, right, including, undergrad and law school, but I feel like some of the biggest educational experiences personally are from failures that I've had in my life.
I think it's so true. Actually, that's where you learn to pivot. I think you get some of your biggest strength from failure. But I also, my in my last life, I was a figure skater, and so I sort of have that sports mentality where you fall, you get right back up again. And I didn't get in this to continue to like move into higher office. I got into this because I was born and raised in my city and it was predominantly gaming. I wanted to live in a city that I could see myself retiring here instead of moving away. So I wanted to see a lot of arts and culture and technology and innovation. And I often tell this story that growing up, people would say, "Where are you from?" And I'd say, "Lake Tahoe." I didn't want them to know that I was from Reno.